Hey, welcome back everyone, and we have finally
Finally!
got a Thor Love and Thunder trailer. Everyone, we've got our Thor Love and Thunder teaser we've been waiting for forever. So I'm excited to watch this, and we'll have a little discussion about it afterwards, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. Oh snap, that was cool.
These hands were once used for battle. Now they're but humble tools for peace.
Huh.
I need to figure out
Good
exactly
song.
who I am.
I like the vibe so far. Oh dang, he's getting back into shape.
I'm gonna choose my own path. Live in the moment. My superheroing days.
Remember what I told you? You ever feel lost? Just
That's
look into the
interesting.
eyes of the people that you love. Not me.
What? Just listening.
Yo! Nice! Let's go! That was a really exciting trailer. It's really fun. It was just a teaser, only a minute and a half, but it still gave us a lot of new footage. And it really reminds me of Ragnarok. We all know Taika Waititi also directed Ragnarok, and he's somewhat of an accomplished director. He won an Oscar for Jojo Rabbit, and he has a really quirky style about the films that he directs, usually depending on the subject matter. But certainly Ragnarok, which was, I could say, if you didn't like Ragnarok, you're probably not in the consensus, according to Rotten Tomatoes at least. I know I liked it a lot. But this you can definitely tell is made by the same mind. There are a lot of really funny moments in this trailer that are the laugh out loud moments, literally. So that's something I really look forward to. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys like the silliness that Taika brings to these Thor films, or do you wish they were more serious? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, with that said, at the beginning of it, we see Thor kind of running, and he goes through phases of kind of growing up, it looks like. And the second phase I thought was really funny because his suit kind of evolves along with him as he ages. It looks like a terrible Halloween cosplay suit in the second phase. It was really funny to me. But then we do finally see him kind of at a tree, and he's kind of appears to be meditating and just kind of trying to center himself and trying to really determine exactly what he wants now that he's not part of the Avengers. Now, at the end of Avengers Endgame, we see Thor leave Earth with the Guardians of the Galaxy to try to track down Gamora, and he's still with them here. But it looks like he's kind of lost his motivation to fight. We see them rush into battle, and he just kind of turns around and walks away. And he says he doesn't want to be a superhero anymore, which is crazy. We kind of seen that happen in Endgame when he gained a lot of weight. You know, he put on a lot of weight and he was just depressed and stuff. But here we actually see him working out with chains that have actually strapped down some kind of monster that died there, and it's just his bones now. But he's getting back into shape. He's doing Asgardian CrossFit, and he's really motivated to get back into shape. But then somehow he loses his motivation to continue being a superhero. So what do? Well, you go sailing, you know, with a company of beautiful women, and you use that time to try to kind of find yourself and find out what you do want to do. Thor's always had the responsibility of leading Asgard, or just growing up under his father, Odin. And when he wasn't doing that, he was constantly battling enormous threats like Thanos. So now that he kind of finally has time for himself, of course he's gonna go off and try to figure out exactly what he wants to do with his life. Now we also get a look at Zeus, played by Russell Crowe in this, and it's a quick look. We don't even get to see his face, but it's pretty obvious by that thunderbolt that's Zeus. And it looks like maybe, I don't know where he's at, the Hall of Gods or something like that. It looks pretty cool. We actually see a shot of what appears to be Thor and Jane, along with a female dressed in blue and Korg, and also maybe their guide, walking down this enormous hallway with a giant statue of Zeus later in the trailer. So pretty certain Thor and the gang are gonna meet Zeus at some point, and I'm just really curious to see what role Zeus plays in Thor Love and Thunder. Now we also get a quick shot of Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie character, and we all know that Thor kind of passed on leadership of Asgard to her at the end of Endgame when he left with the Guardians, and she appears to be like at some type of, I don't know, a conference with maybe a lot of different leadership there. We can see some aliens in the background, and she obviously looks like a politician in this, which is so different than we've ever seen her before. So it looks like she's taking her responsibility as leader of Asgard very seriously. We also get a good look at the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's the same crew that left off with Thor at the end of Endgame. You know, we obviously have Peter Quill, but then we also have Nebula, who was with them. We have Mantis. We also have Rocket and Teenage Groot. And then we also have Dave Bautista's Drax. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Drax is looking pretty soft in this picture in comparison to the type of shape Bautista's gotten into for the character in some of the earlier films. Drax is looking a little soft in this to me. Let me know if you agree with me. Does Drax look soft in this, or is this image just playing tricks on my mind right now? But we all know that Drax had talked about his final appearance as the character Drax, and the reason he said that Guardians 3 would probably be his final appearance as the character was because at his age, 54, he said things start to sag, which means obviously it's a lot harder to get in shape for the role. So I wonder if this new look for Drax is part of his character progression, or did Bautista just kind of drop the ball on getting into shape? I'd like to think it's probably part of his character progression. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. So finally, at the end of the trailer, we see Thor, and we've seen a lot of images of Thor's costume, the blue and gold, which is not getting the best reaction from people because it's so colorful. But we do get a quick shot of him in a different costume with kind of like some fur on his shoulders. It's almost like Viking-esque, and I'm really into that. I really like this costume. This is going to be an upcoming cosplay for me after this movie comes out for sure. But we didn't get to see the gold and blue armor that's kind of floating around in the internet. I'd be curious to know which of those two armors you prefer. Do you like the gold and blue, or is it too much for you? I'm kind of on the line. I think I need to see it literally in action before I can actually make a decision. Right now, it's a little campy as far as I'm concerned, but yeah, be curious to read your guys' thoughts down below. Then we see a really familiar hammer catch with Thor kind of seeming confused, kind of like we've seen with Captain America in Endgame. And of course, the hammer's broken. It's been put back together, and it's Jane Foster in the Lady Thor suit, and which is just like a stand-up clap moment. You know, that a lot's been leading up to this. Jane Foster first appeared as Lady Thor, or as Goddess Thor. That was part of the original Sin storyline, and Jane Foster, the person, actually had cancer in this storyline, and terminal cancer at that, and she just so happened to be chosen by the Hammer as Thor's successor after Thor lost his ability to lift the hammer, coincidentally by Nick Fury whispering something into his ear that we don't know what it is. So he loses the ability to wield the hammer. The Hammer chooses Jane, and Jane goes on to wield the hammer. She actually beats Thor in a battle, and he concedes that, yeah, she's deserving of the hammer, and he passes his namesake on to her. So she becomes Lady Thor, or Goddess Thor, and she defends Asgard as Thor. Now, Jane eventually goes up against a creature called Mangog, who is essentially a manifestation of the hatred from billions and millions of people. And while she does defeat Mangog, she does it at the expense of her own life. So she ends up dying because when she wields the hammer, it kind of erases all the progress chemotherapy has made in her body. And so essentially without the hammer, she dies inevitably. And in order to beat Mangog, the hammer is destroyed. And she does that intentionally, knowing that she's sacrificing herself, which was a huge story point. So But that's kind of the story of Jane. I'm really excited to see Natalie Portman take on this role. I like her as an actress, and I really feel like we haven't seen enough of her. You know, there are films where she's just not even in them, and they're like, "How's Jane?" You know, and a big part of Endgame was him kind of missing Jane, as why she's so overweight and stuff. So one of the reasons, at least. So it's going to be a great story point to see her come back into Thor's life. Will he know that Lady Thor is Jane right off the bat? Will he recognize her, or will there be a reveal later on like it was in the comics? He didn't know who she was until later on. I'll be very interested to see the way they go with this. Now in the comics, after Jane Foster dies, she's brought back to life and as Valkyrie. So we're obviously not going to take that route because we already have Valkyrie. So that storyline is not going to be the route we go in the films. And so, with that said, you know, they may change any number of things. I don't think they may change the way she dies, whether or not she has cancer, why she gets the hammer, whether or not he's unworthy or he is still worthy. So there's a lot of speculation to be had. So I'd be really interested to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys think about this teaser trailer. Are you getting what you wanted out of it? Was it worth the wait? Do you like the quirkiness that Taika brings to these Thor films? And are you excited to see Jane Foster pick up the hammer and the mantle as Thor? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more videos. And as always, I'll catch you back here for more reaction action.
Jane. That name will always remind me of her.